Margaret Duncan Abraham, also known as Beverly of Grand Roy St. John, who resided in Miami, Florida, passed away on Friday, 21st May at the age of 69. She was the wife of Ian Abraham of Grand Roy. She was the mother of Sean, Shamika Abraham, and Yolanda Grant of Miami, grandmother of Jalen Abraham and Eden Grant, mother-in-law of Joseph Grant. She was the sister of Beatrice Duncan, Lloyd Lewis, and Evelyn Pear of Marigot, Jermaine Duncan of Grand Roy, Hector Pear of St. David, and Jerifel Richmond in St. Croix, sister-in-law of John Abraham, Francis Abraham, Simpson Judah Thomas, Jeffrey Charlie Simon, Nancy Henry, and Ricky Ross. Several nieces and nephews from the Duncan, Lendor, Richmond, Pear, Lewis, Edwards, Augustine, Abraham, and DeSouza families. Many cousins, relatives, and close friends including Teresa McCollin of New York, Catherine Bascom, and Keith Duncan of Miami, Reynald and Ingrid Duncan of Trinidad, Alden Cadeau of Grand Roy, friends and neighbors of Grand Roy and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Margaret Duncan Abraham of Grand Roy St. John, who resided in Miami, Florida, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwell Brothers Funeral Home. Cecil Raphael Lewis, also known as Reggae of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Saturday, 12 June at the age of 64. He was the father of Chevon, Kevin, Kevon, Jimmy, Dubai, Hannah, Ketisha, Ronell, Corey, Kendra, and Keron. Grandfather of 16 including Brittany, Jaheim, Jaylene, Tiffany, Jemiah, and Jayla. Father-in-law of Marvin Corian, Alvin Douglas, Nigel George, Sean Frame, and Tamara Smith. Brother of Lincoln Victor, Catherine Victor Edwards, Melita Samuel, Constance Tompkin, and Gemma Johnson. Brother-in-law of Henry, Dale, and Godwin. Adopted son of Clementina Braveboy. Uncle of many including Linton, Camille, Sharon, Chantel, Allison, Shamika, Chanel, and Shaba. Close friend of Alice. His caregiver, Geraldine. Many other relatives and close friends including members of the Northeast Bus Association, Wilmark, Pastor James, Brendan, the Samuel family of New Hampshire, the Lewis family of Concord and Willis, Braveboy and Smith families, pastor and members of the New Hampshire Seventh-day Adventist Church and Wallace Memorial Pentecostal, the Boys on the Block, friends and neighbors of New Hampshire and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Cecil Raphael Lewis of New Hampshire St. George will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lockwell Brothers Funeral Home.
Cynthia Teresa Lucy Langdon Gary of Harford Village, St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, 14th June 2021 in Brooklyn, New York, at the age of 85. She was the mother of Eugene, also known as Tinning, Selma and Desmond, also known as Bob and Pirate in the USA, Velma in Barbados, Roland Harford, Sherma and ASP Richard Langdon of the Royal Grenadier Police Force, grandmother of Reneel, Renelma, Renelson, Marcel, Akim and Shane in the USA, Jeremy in Canada, Jewel Harford in the Royal Grenadier Police Force, Laverne, Rochelle, Raquel, Ramon, Tracy and Isaiah in Grenada, Maxwell in Tortola, Daniel in Cuba, Anderson and Lee Langdon in Barbados. Great-grandmother of 17, adopted mother of Nyla, also known as Baby, mother-in-law of Jeanette, Diane, Bernice Harford, and Deborah Langdon. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Louise Felix and family, the Gill, Mitchell and Langdon families of Harford Village, the Moore and Charles families of Sab, Beverly Charles and family in Trinidad, Veronica, Dorothy, Betty and Serlin in Barbados, Judith Charles and family, the Chaitin family of Tivoli, the Alexander family in the USA, Auntie Winnie and family in the USA, Jacqueline Garrott and family, Sharon and members of the St. Matthew's Roman Catholic Church. The funeral service for the late Cynthia Teresa Lucy Langdon Gary of Harford Village, St. Andrew, will be held on Saturday, 26th June in the USA. Arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Nicodemus Mosley Hazard of Vincent St. David, who resided in Trinidad, died on Tuesday 15th June 2021 at the age of 74. Left to mourn are his 2 children, Sandy and Sion Hazard, 6 grandchildren, all in Trinidad, sister Mrs. Jean Hazard of Vincent St. David, many other relatives and friends including Margaret Wildman and family of New Hampshire in Grenada, Suzanne Pope and family in Trinidad, others in Grenada and Trinidad too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Nicodemus Mosley Hazard of Vincent St. David, who resided in Trinidad, will take place in Trinidad. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Corporal 172 Richard S. Logan, also known as Chickhead, of Montgay St. George, former tailor at the police tailor shop, a national footballer and coach of River Road, passed away on Monday 7th June 2021 at the age of 52. He was the son of Agneta Patricia Logan, also known as Miss Pat, father of Daniela Logan, brother of Ricardo and Beverly in Grenada, Bonnie and Rachel in the USA, and Gloria in Canada, nephew of Marjorie, Greta, Olga, Mary, Randolph, Irvin, Thomas, Anthony, and Stephen, uncle of Willie, Ray, Nancy, Rhea, Rakisha, Romario, Amara, Avery, and Amal. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends including Neville, Andy, Daniel, Gary, Christine, Chenny, Janelle and the Vivek family of Tempe, the Norrie family of Vendham and Florida, the Clark family of St. Andrew, the Commissioner of Police and members of the Royal Grenada Police Force, especially his co-workers at the tailor shop, the Boys on the Block, the Grenada Football Association and the Football Fraternity, students and staff of J.W. Fletcher Memorial School, members of Queen's Park Rangers, and friends and neighbours of Montgay, River Road and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Corporal 172 Richard S. Logan, also known as Chickhead, of Montgay St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Venita Telesford Lambert, also known as Venet, of Windsor Forest, St. David, died on June 18, 2021, at the age of 74. She is survived by her children Jeffrey, Roger, Eric and Bernard Telesford, and Stacey Modeste, brothers and sisters Olive Paul, Anne, Kyron, Fabian, and Teresa Telesford, daughters-in-law Nathalie Bruce, Valerie Campbell, Brenda Lee Telesford, and Marva Henry, son-in-law Kim Modeste, 17 grandchildren including Akima, Nathan, Jaden, Chanel, Kelshawn, Jeffon, Ashley, Aaliyah, Dante, and Joshua, 2 great-grandchildren, many nieces and nephews, other relatives and friends including Michael Jaffier, Lawrence Blair, Stanley Buckmeyer, her caretaker Marcel Belgrave, and the Telesford, Brazan, and Paul families, Mother Louisa and members of the Mount Olivet Spiritual Baptist Church, and close friends and neighbours of Carriacou, Windsor Forest, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Venita Telesford Lambert, also known as Venit, of Windsor Forest, St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Dennis Curtis Lett, also known as Cocoa Leaf, of Corinth, who resided at Providence, St. David, passed away on Monday 7th June 2021 at the age of 59. He was the father of Troy Samuel, brother of Dyke Lett, Benedict Jeremiah, Solomon Jeremiah, also known as Isaiah, Michael Jeremiah, also known as Joel, Suzanne Jeremiah, Ruth Infante, and Sally Ann Telesford, brother-in-law of Jorge Infante, Kingsley Telesford, and Althea Jeremiah, nephew of Laura Victor, Sharon Williams, Sandra Williams in St. Croix, Teresa Lynch, Florence Lewis in the United Kingdom, Cynthia Coutain, Joan Thomas in Canada, Cuthbert Lett, Desmond Lett in St. Croix, Kenneth Lett, Errol Bishop, Michael Bishop, and Martin Bishop in Canada, uncle of 19. Many other close relatives and friends including Sharon Purcell, Lewin Williams, Dawn Bowler, Charmaine Pear, Laureen Williams, Darren Harford, the Jeremiah, Let, Bagwan and Bishop families of St. David, Theory, Miss Janet and Evie, and friends and neighbours of Dudmar, Providence, Syracuse and Corinth. The funeral service for the late Dennis Curtis Lett, also known as Cocoleaf of Corinth, who resided at Providence St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Patricia Teresa Lacroix, also known as Patsy Lacroix, of Mount Airy St. George, passed away on Monday 7th June 2021 at the age of 71. She was the mother of Clarence and Anderson, also known as Andy in the USA, Stanton in the UK, and Dolores Lacroix in Grenada. Grandmother of 5, great-grandmother of 4, sister of Dorothy Brown, Beverly Simon, Anna Lacroix, Christine St. John, Lucy Bullen, Eric, Thomas, Kezar, and Carl Lacroix. In-laws including Nicolette, Bernadette, and V. Niece of Byron Paul and Louisa Paul Mitchell. Aunt of many including Shawnee Lacroix, Suzanne Stewart, Rosalind Salfali, Nigel and Glenna Lacroix, Samantha St. John, Amanda McEwen, and Harriet. Many other relatives and friends including Suzanne James, Wilma Delfish, Mr. and Mrs. Pascal, Mr. and Mrs. Phillip, Louise Redhead, Hazel Arnold, George Robinson, Anne Pear, Angela Phillip, the Filbert family of Marley, Eslyn Dupre, members of the Mount Paran Spiritual Baptist Church, and friends and neighbours of Mount Airy and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Patricia Teresa Lacroix, also known as Patsy Lacroix of Mount Airy St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Joseph Francis, also known as O'Neill, of Mount Castle St. Andrew, who resided in Barbados, first son of the late Joseph and Grace Francis, passed away on Saturday 24th April 2021 in Barbados, at the age of 72. He was the husband of Jocelyn Francis, father of Nikon in Barbados, Chris also known as Moon in Grenada, and Michelle, brother of Sonia, Margaret, Harold also known as Au, Leon and Rennick in Grenada, Nix in Canada, Arton in Trinidad, and Lisa in the USA. Nephew of Anna Felix, Benedict, Belton, Edna, and Big. Uncle of many including Stasha, Akida, Renatha, Celine, Kellyanne, Ranisha, Alvin, Kervin, Jamal, Kelly, Ranel, and Rishon. Brother-in-law of Pamela, Myrtle, Kathy-Ann, Wilma, Bernadette, Keith, Kenneth, and Augustine, also known as Prengi. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends including the Francis, Felix, Raymond, and Horsford families, Alice Goodridge in Barbados, Violet John, Ian also known as Red Pat, and the fellas by Red Pat's shop, and friends and neighbours of Barbados, Mount Castle St. Andrew, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Joseph Francis, also known as O'Neill, of Mount Castle St. Andrew, who resided in Barbados, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Nigel Hamilton, also known as Nigel Wilson and Zaki, of Boseju Carriacou, who resided in the USA, former member of the Royal Grenada Police Force, PC number 413, passed away on Monday 17th May 2021 in the USA, at the age of 59. He was the husband of Anne Campbell Hamilton, father of Jai Williams and Mignell Hamilton, stepfather of 5 including Samaria, Amin, and Wendell, grandfather of Jalen, Tabitha, Tassani, Jason, and Ava, son of Helen Wilson, brother of Dolores Roberts, Ensley Culzack in the USA, Francilia Hamilton in Canada, Laurie Hamilton, and Joan Duncan, also known as Miss Anne in Carriacou, nephew of Lorna Sandy and Millicent Hamilton in the USA, uncle of many including Rachel, Chanel, Shari, Cudlin, Clintus, Clinton, and Gary, brother-in-law of Stanel Duncan, Many other relatives and friends in the USA, Carriacou and St. Vincent, including Douglas Kirk Alexis, members of the 51st Crew in New York, members of the Greenhouse Crew, the Hamilton and Wilson families, and friends and neighbors of Beauséjour, Carriacou, and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Nigel Hamilton, also known as Nigel Wilson, of Beauséjour, Carriacou, who resided in the USA, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Reverend Robinson John Thomas, also known as Robbie, of Corinth St. David, who resided at Victoria St. Mark, former pastor of the Victoria Pentecostal Church, passed away on Monday 14th June 2021 at the age of 62. He was the husband of Marjorie Thomas, brother of Rennie Filbert in Canada, nephew of Mildred Thomas, son-in-law of Jean Elcock, brother-in-law of Edris Filbert in Canada, Geraldine Victor and Menno Elcock in the USA, Vida Hope in Barbados, Monica Isaac, Ruth Scott, Veron Elcock, Rachel Worm, Lois Plenty, Lincoln, Husent, and Tyndale Elcock, uncle of Randy, Elvin, and Garvin Filbert in Canada. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Netta Anders Baisden, Catherine Paris, Godwin, Godfrey, Bernard and Keisha, Pastor Hayden Young and members of the Victoria Pentecostal Church, Bishop Christopher Baker, Bishop Dave King, Reverend Leroy Penny, Reverend Samuel Niles, the Pentecostal Pastoral Fraternity, and members of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies, the Community of Victoria and Corinth, and friends in Trinidad and Tobago. The funeral of the late Reverend Robinson John Thomas, also known as Robbie, of Corinth St. David, who resided at Victoria St. Mark, will be held at a later date. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Iona Nicholas Joseph, also known as Anna, of Molinaire St. George, died on Wednesday 2nd June 2021 at the age of 82. Left to mourn are her husband Carlisle Joseph, brother Sandy Nicholas, sons Alan in the US and Wayne and Collins Nicholas, daughters Joycelyn Nicholas Ortiz in the US, Yolande Modeste, Patsy Lewis, Dave Lowe in the US, Claudine, Wendy in the United States, and Vic Arlene Nicholas. 36 grandchildren, 30 great-grands, many nieces including Nola Paul and Hazel Smith, many nephews including Orwell Nicholas in Grenada, John Nicholas in Canada, and George Nicholas, sister-in-law Carmen Joseph, sons-in-law Alistair McIntyre, Adrian Jones, Alfred Modeste, Dexter Lewis, and Michael Pope, daughters-in-law Andy and Anne-Marie Nicholas, other relatives and friends including Rashida, Eulyn Henry, Rhonda Sylvester, Teresa John, Lyris Lewis, Christine Thomas in New York and family, the Nicholas family in Trinidad, Montparnasse and Molinaire, the Modeste, Lewis and Morris families of Molinaire, the Harris family of Molinaire and Happy Hill, the Woodruff and Thomas families of Molinaire, the Gooding family of Willis, the Henry family of St. Paul's, the Cador family, Vicky Charles, members of the Uganda Martyrs RC Church Happy Hill, and neighbours and friends of Molinaire, Happy Hill, Grand Mall, Fontenoy, Willis, Ravine, and surrounding areas. The funeral service and interment of the late Iona Nicholas Joseph, also known as Anna, of Molinaire St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Clifford Marshall of Cloget, who resided at Seamoon St. Andrew, died on Wednesday 23rd June 2021 at the age of 56. The funeral arrangements for the late Clifford Marshall of Cloget, who resided at Seamoon St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Wesley Beggs of Laborie St. Paul's, former Commissioner of Her Majesty's Prisons and Coordinator of the Probation Unit at the Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, passed away on Friday 11th June 2021 at the age of 57. The funeral arrangements for the late Wesley Beggs of Laborie St. Paul, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow and Paulo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, passed away on Sunday, June 20th, 2021, at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow and Paulo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Rennie Matthew, also known as Tatty and Drizzle, of Moran, who resided at Woodford St. John, passed away on Friday, 18th June 2021, at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Rennie Matthew, also known as Tatty and Drizzle, of Moran, who resided at Woodford St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. David Ronald Norsis, also known as Doc, of Grenville St. Andrew, who resided at Hopevale St. George, passed away on Thursday, 17th June 2021, at the age of 46. The funeral arrangements for the late David Ronald Norsis, also known as Doc, of Grenville St. Andrew, who resided at Hopevale St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Louisa Johnson, née Noel, of Montgelou St. George, a resident of the Grand Anse Home for the Aged, died on Tuesday, 15th June 2021, at the age of 93. The funeral arrangements for the late Louisa Johnson, née Noel, of Montgelou St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Thomas Frank Norrie of Vendham St. George passed away on Sunday, 13th June 2021, at the age of 90. The funeral arrangements for the late Thomas Frank Norrie of Vendham St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chikambu of Moran St. John, died on Sunday, 13th June 2021, at the age of 92. The funeral arrangements for the late Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chikambu, of Moran St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. John Joseph, also known as Painter and Whitehead, of River Road, St. George, passed away on Wednesday, 16th June 2021, at the age of 77. The funeral arrangements for the late John Joseph, also known as Painter and Whitehead, of River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, St. George, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021, at the age of 38. The funeral arrangements for the late Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 5th June 2021, at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Ravi Chevy Batiste of New Hampshire St. George died on Wednesday, 9th June 2021, at the age of 34. The funeral arrangements for the late Ravi Chevy Batiste of New Hampshire St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Phyllis Veronica Paul of Pomrose St. David passed away on Saturday, 12th June 2021 at Pomrose St. David at the age of 91. The funeral arrangements for the late Phyllis Veronica Paul of Pomrose St. David will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Homes. Ronald Ivan David, also known as Mr. David, of Lauriston, Carriacou, passed away on Friday, 4th June 2021 at the age of 97. The funeral arrangements for the late Ronald Ivan David, also known as Mr. David, of Lauriston, Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Homes. Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount St. David, passed away on Saturday, 5th June 2021 at the age of 43. The funeral arrangements for the late Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth, of Limler, Carriacou, passed away on Monday, 14th June 2021 at the age of 88. The funeral arrangements for the late Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth, of Limler, Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lackwell Brothers Funeral Homes.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
I am Godwill James, an MD and a member of Gateway Assembly. Medically, death is regarded as an end or a cessation of life. Different groups view death in different perspectives. While some regard death as a continuation of life, others view it as an infeeble form of life. As a Christian, we may want to view death as a separation of the soul from the body. So, whichever way one may view death, I want to say that may the gentle soul of the faithful departed rest in the bosom of the Lord. Amen.